Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to Dream Career Talk Show. This talk show is to help corporate professionals to identify their dream careers and build their dream careers. Here, we bring influencers from different industries so that they can share about their knowledge, their experiences, their failures, and success so that it can inspire others to build their dream careers. So, today, we have a very special topic, a topic which is underutilized, a platform which is underutilized. We are going to talk about, yes, one of the most powerful platforms for professionals, LinkedIn, right? It is one of the most important platforms for all the corporate professionals. But sadly, it's one of the most underutilized platforms. And why should a corporate professional start using LinkedIn? How do you maximize your visibility using LinkedIn? How do you build your brand using LinkedIn? So today's guest, Suma Anegoda, is a LinkedIn strategist. She is also a career success coach and a TEDx speaker. Her mantra for success is action is the mother of all accomplishments. She helps women, professionals, entrepreneurs, students to build their personal brands and maximize their visibility on LinkedIn. So, without further ado, let me bring Suma. Suma, welcome to Dream Career Talk Show.
Thank you, Fatah, for having me here. It's my pleasure to be here and speak about one of my favorite topic about LinkedIn. It's really great to be here.
Great, and I think I've seen your work on LinkedIn, especially, right? You creating a lot of content, and I think you have been guiding a lot of professionals and also the MBA students, right? I see you going to those colleges and guiding them, which is very important for these professionals to understand the new ways of getting a job, the new ways of building their brand, creating their visibility. So you have been doing some wonderful job out there, and I'm very glad that you are here on our show today. So let's start with your journey, right? How did you get started with your career in this field, right? How did you become a LinkedIn strategist? Were you always this, or did you get started? What was the journey? How does the journey look like for you?
Okay, I think it's a very long story. So just to give a little bit background about me, I worked in IT industry for a decade and majority on the startups. And during the pandemic, it's basically I was undergoing one coaching and there was an assignment from my coach to build my LinkedIn profile. Okay, so and it was I supposed to do it, and then there is no shortcut. I cannot say no for it. So that's how I just started taking a couple of workshops for myself, and then I build my profile. And that was I think building was profile was an easy task for me, but the second challenging was for me. I think I supposed to post a content in LinkedIn. I need to connect with the people. That was very hard for me. I think I was facing a lot of hesitation. How should I come on this particular platform? What people will think? Suddenly Suma is coming on the LinkedIn. So I think obviously that what my peers will tell, what my colleagues will tell, that I had a lot of that hesitation. And then with my support of coach, I think I slowly overcome. And then as part of the coaching, there was a one more task. I need to supposed to take an uncomfortable action, which is not taken so far. So since I was comfortable building my LinkedIn profile, I got a couple of attended a couple of workshops. I was feeling a little bit comfortable, so I thought let me take a LinkedIn session live. Uh, in a Zoom. That I think during the pandemic, Zoom was coming new, right? So I
Right.
thought, let me go and do it, and then I tried it. Okay, I first took my first session on LinkedIn during the pandemic, and then I could see that around 75 to 80 people came for my first session. I was so happy to see that, and then I was also see a lot of challenges what people was going through, same challenges what I went through. And then why people are they would like to be a part of LinkedIn, but what are the what was stopping them. I understood. Then I also realized post that session that, like me, there could be many women who are undergoing the same challenges. Okay, they want to be this particular platform, but nobody is guiding them, and they have their own hesitation. What my peers will think, what my manager will think. So then I thought, since I already got the knowledge, why can't I go and help by other people? So that's how this journey started. uh, I didn't have my logo, I didn't have my brand, anything. With just having a knowledge, I started going and giving a sessions to a couple of platforms, women entrepreneurs, working professionals, students. I started went in, started giving us multiple session. I think 2021 December is where I think I built my brand as a LinkedIn for her with the logo, all these things. Still that just without any brand, I started helping the people. By the time I already people recognized me, okay, Suma as a LinkedIn expert. So then that's how the journey started. I think it's been 2 year. I think I helped more than around 10,000 people across pan India. I think it's a great journey. I see. I think by seeing the outcome of the people once people start utilizing the LinkedIn, right? I see people are really seeing the good result, and personally I am getting a lot of results. That's the reason I'll take my use case. Okay guys, I'm there on LinkedIn, I'm getting a lot of result, why don't you come, right? I'm pushing most of the working professionals and entrepreneurs and students, be there in this particular platform. It's a gold mine, don't miss it. That's what I say. I think this is what my journey from a corporate into LinkedIn for her, with support of my coach, and then since I overcome the hesitation, so that's how this journey has been started.
Great, nice to know that, and good to know that you have actually covered more than 10,000 people till now who have been like trained and educated on LinkedIn, right? So when you go to these people, especially the corporate professionals, right, what is the
Mhm.
big fear that they have when they actually have to get on LinkedIn?
I think majority is one, what my colleagues will think, what my peers will see. That's something, and my what my boss will think. So this is Suma. If I come to LinkedIn, obviously my colleagues will think that okay, she might be looking for a job change. That's the reason
Job.
you're going to be active in LinkedIn. So this is the two things. One is fear of colleagues, and then fear of their boss, and next is of their own. And I think imposter syndrome. I can say, okay, am I good enough? Why should I be there on LinkedIn? And can I share something on my topic? I think I'm not good enough, Suma. I think I need to get some knowledge in 2 to 3 years. Then I can share some knowledge. So these are the few challenges basically. It could be college working professionals and students. I see the same challenges.
Mhm.
For students, I think they are not active in LinkedIn, they are active more on Instagram and other platform. That's a different challenge. But working professionals, peer concern and boss concern, and their lack of confidence, I can say.
Mhm. And how do you help them in terms of understanding the importance and actually changing their mindset when they get onto LinkedIn and they start actually sharing their knowledge and creating their visibility?
Majorly, I think initially I'll start working on their mindset. I think if they are not clear, if they don't overcome those things, right? So then I think it's not going to help out. First I'll be working on their mindset, motivating them. Okay, so you just focus on your BHAG, or focus on your goals. Don't worry about what peers say, don't worry about what your boss says. They're focusing on their goals, their career. You kindly focus what do you want to achieve by end of the year, what do you want to achieve in the next 3 years, right? So focus on that. People will talk 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. Your peers or boss will speak for two. Then they will get busy in their own work. Forget about them. So you be ready. They will speak. 100% sure they will speak about it, saying that okay, she's right now in active in LinkedIn. It means that she's looking for a job. Then they will speak. So
Mm.
be prepared for it, and then you focus on your goal. And then that's what, by listening to that, people will get motivated, and they'll overcome these concerns or issues they have, and they'll start the journey.
Right, and I agree. I think mindset is very important here, right? And I think you rightly said, like, focus on your goals because I think their bosses are focusing on their goals. Everyone is focusing on their own goals. They have to
Correct.
focus on their own goals. And as you rightly said, maybe a couple of days, 3 days, maybe a week, people will talk and then they will get busy. So it's important for us to focus on our journey, right? And how people can get started on LinkedIn. Like when they get started, you help them with the LinkedIn profile optimization. What do they do, right? If somebody is listening here, right, and want to get started with LinkedIn, right? How do they
Mhm.
get started with LinkedIn?
I think first step is basically its profile itself. With I think without having a profile, I think you cannot go further. One is I think one has to focusly work on building the profile. I think around 12 to 14 steps are the basic steps. At least I can say not all the features. There are at least 12 to 14 steps if you complete your profile with the optimized keywords. I can say. So I when I talk to the people, they say I think Suma, I have my LinkedIn account. I think initially some people, right? I think who are working in corporate with a higher position, they say, okay, so I already have a LinkedIn account. I think I don't need your support. But over the
Hmm.
period of time, they realize that there's a lot of missing pieces in their profile, and then also not using the right keywords. So what I say is one is optimizing your profile with a 12 to 14 basic steps, and that too with the right keywords based on your domain technology. That is very much important. And then once your profile is ready, that's the first step. And the second step is connecting with the people, connecting with your industry experts, connecting with the seniors, right? Or connecting with your target audience. That is the second step. And the third is about posting a content. So if you just having a profile, connecting with the people, you're not going to get anything. So until unless you showcase as a thought leader in your industry, so you need to start writing a content, if not on daily, at least weekly, twice or thrice, if you can start. I think with these three steps, so one is profile building, connection, and then content. If you follow these three steps consistently, I'm sure one can get a lot of inbound opportunities.
Great, right? First step, profile building. Second step, in terms of building those connections. Now, at the connection stage, I hear a lot of people talking about, hey, I do send connection requests, but people are not accepting from the other side, right? So, what do we do?
Mhm.
Like, how do we actually ensure that people are connecting with us, right? And we increase our
Mhm.
number of connections, maybe the companies, maybe the decision makers. So, how can people do this? Is there any approach that they can follow so that they can build proper connections?
Yes, I think I totally agree with it. I think if you don't know the person, if you send a connection request, the chances of they accepting your request is very, very less. Rejection is more. So if you just send a note, there's a LinkedIn, there's an option to send a note before connecting it. So put a some prior kind of a note saying that, okay, why are you trying to connect? So are you going to learn from them? Are you in the same industry? Are you met somewhere in some networking meetup? Or like the what is the reason why you like to connect with that particular person? If you put a some pre note, chances of other person accepting your request is more compared to than rejection. That's the one thing. I think when it comes to connection, I say think there are two strategy which you can play. I think one is outbound connection and I say inbound connections strategy. Outbound connections are where you take an effort, go and reach out to the your target audience and connect. And inbound strategy, which I always tell for the working professionals or entrepreneurs, if you want to get in touch with the top level CEOs or a founders or a VP or AVP, such kind of people, use the inbound strategy. So wherein you make that person to come and look into your profile. So that's the one hack usually I explain in my one-to-one or in a master class. So inbound strategy to connect with the top executives, if you follow, just to give an example, assume that say I would like to go and connect with a Dave, right? So if I just go and hit connection to Dave, and then chances of he remembering who is Suma and Negoda is very, very less, right? So with the inbound strategy, what is basically I will go to Dev's profile. I'll go and like what all the posts he's done so far. I'll go and comment on the post. I'll go and add a values on his post or thoughts, my thoughts on his post. And then when I do that, he'll keep getting a notification. Who is this Sumane got? Why she's liking my store post? Why she's commenting on post? I think the value what she's adding on my post is very nice. So let me go and see. So I keep doing this activity, say like for a month, and then obviously they're getting hundreds of notification about me. It'll force him to come to my profile to see who is Sumane Gowda. If my profile is optimized with all the 12 to 14 steps, if my profile is outstanding, obviously he will come and click on connect on, right? So this is what I suggest. If you want to connect with the top people, follow inbound and also both follow outbound and inbound so that you can increase the number of connections. I say.
Yeah, I think that's a good technique. Outbound, where you are actually sending it with a message, and you said inbound,
Yes,
it is always about adding value, right? So if you are
correct.
connecting with people who are above you, especially, right, keep adding value by liking their content, commenting, sharing their content, so that they feel you are adding value in their lives, and then they get connected. I think that's a great
Correct.
approach there. And then the third step you talk about is content. Now, when you talk about content, what kind of content should people be creating if they have to actually create their influence or be seen as a thought leader in their industry?
Okay. So I think we can follow all the 5 to 6 categories of posts. What is available in LinkedIn? It could be simple text post or a picture, a text and picture combination, or a videos or a document. So the different types of posts are including the poll, right? So this is different type of post one can do it. But again, we need to figure out that which post is your target audience is liking. So
Mm.
it's not like I will follow only text, I'll follow only video. Like you need to give it a try, okay, try different types of posts and see which post basically your target audience is liking, and then it's that post is going more viral. So understand that, and then you can decide, okay, this is the post what my target audience liking, let me stick to it. Or like I always say, one is analyze and then preferably create such kind of content or play around with all types of posts. But so far what I see is poll is not performing that well compared to what it was performing well like 1 year back. So because of the algorithm changes, I say try with all type of content. And then I think if you see, one more thing is I think YouTube is one which is performing very well, right? I think every day when people we watch, I think more than 10-15 videos, it means that everyone loves video. So I recommend, okay, come on a camera, take a video and then post it, because people love videos. And then you have to come in the front, you have to showcase yourself a thought leader, talk about what your technology at the domain. I know initially you all hesitant, you will not feel comfortable, but it's okay. Come on the video, because you know that YouTube is performing well, videos are performing well. If you want to showcase yourself a thought leader, you have to come on a video.
Right. I think I agree with that, right? If you have to be showcased as a thought leader, you have to share your thoughts, right? And one of the challenge, I think, first challenge is when people don't get started on LinkedIn. But people who
Mhm.
get started on LinkedIn, one of the big challenges, they are like, I'm not getting any likes, I'm not getting any shares, no comments. So should I
Mhm.
stop there? Right.
Mhm.
So what is the advice you give to these people? And did you also face this anytime in your content?
Yes, I think just to give an one example, I think which have been recently one of the event where around 200 ladies was there. I asked a question to all of them. Okay, how many of you got a LinkedIn account? I think most of the all raised the hand. Okay. Then my second question is, how many of you are active in LinkedIn? I think it came to around 40% the hands right.
Hmm.
And then I asked question, how many of you are getting inbound opportunities? The hands, like, I can say only hardly 10. The graph is just going down. Okay, connections to the sorry, creating an account and to the active on LinkedIn and to the inbound opportunities just going down. There is a some gap. I asked them, why do you, how can you make it up? Okay, you have a LinkedIn connections. Okay, how can you be active on LinkedIn? How can you make the inbound opportunities for you? So how can you increase the graph? So what I see is people create an account and then they're not active in LinkedIn. So I suggest spend 15 minutes in LinkedIn on a daily basis. Okay, and then if you don't have a time to create a content, at least go and add your values or thoughts on your industry's post, industry, anybody, people. And so at least with that you can create your brand. And it's not like all the time you can always go and comment on it. You can play around with it. Okay, sometimes if you don't have a time, go and like somebody's post. If you don't have much time, go and comment on your industry experts post. And then make some time for yourself, create your own content. So this how you'll be able to see the result. Otherwise, okay, I create one post, I getting very less likes. Suma, I think don't worry about likes, comment in the initial stage till you build your brand. Just focus to showcase your thoughts on your domain. Forget about people liking or not liking. That is one of the things which you need to consider, but don't focus on that. Your focus is to build your brand, showcase yourself a thought leader, keep writing a content, keep adding a values, keep commenting on this. So with that, I think over the period of time, basically, I think you will see that okay, there's a lot of things are happening in a LinkedIn.
Yeah, good. I think that's a good advice. And when people get started, right, the other challenge they have is, hey, a lot of people from my company are watching me, right? So should I be doing this content? Now, people, as you said in the beginning as well, people start feeling that I'm actually looking for a job. So should I stop there? Should I move ahead? Like, what should they do? Because is it in conflict with companies' regulations if people are creating that content on LinkedIn? Right? Or is it not? And how do they actually handle this kind of situation?
So I think if it's not sharing the company details, company privacy details, I think one should not be worried too much about it. So if you're sharing your knowledge, or if you're sharing about your how you're handling the team, okay, for in terms of you're talking about the leadership, how you're handling your team, how you're overcoming the challenges. So by listening to that, maybe I think someone else in the whole leadership team, they can handle that situation, right? Okay, something you undergone some technology challenges. How did you overcome that? Okay, how did you replace some tool, or how did you handle some different technology itself to overcome that issue? So when you share that knowledge, I think other people can learn from you. But only thing is, if you're not sharing company privacy and products, the core of the product, some secrets or something, right, we don't need to worry. But that's only the people mindset. As I said, it's a mindset game. So don't share the company privacy details. Otherwise, you please, your technology, everything, it's all your IP. It's not company's IP, right? So with that, you can go ahead and share the details.
Right, I agree with you. I think knowledge sharing is open, right? People would not stop anyone from sharing their knowledge. Like if I have
Yeah.
solved a problem, it's okay if I'm sharing it, it will help 10 other people, right? But as you rightly said, do not share any privacy data or private data of your company, be it products, services, or anything. If you're taking care of that, I think people should be able to still create content and create their impact.
So maybe I think once the product is released, services released, obviously you can go and share it. But prior to that, if something is still in a development mode, I think obviously companies may not like to share that, right? So once the product is ready, obviously the revenue of the organization can increase if you share the product release or services release. That's really good. But prior to that, I think we should be a little bit cautious.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I think that's how you look at, I think, adding value to your organization also. When you are able to, when you yourself have built a brand, and when you are sharing your company's products when they are released, right? If it is increasing the revenue, the sales, that means you are clearly adding value to the organization. I think that's a good
Correct.
perspective. Yeah. Good. Now, when people also have to look for job, right? So how does
Hmm.
LinkedIn help here, right? Because people have their profiles on Naukri.com, they are sending their resumes to different consultancies, but how can LinkedIn help them?
So one is, I think, once you when anybody's looking for a job change, right, a job search, I think one is building their profile is important. After that, most of the job openings, I think the recruiters are posting in LinkedIn, so that's what one can get to know the notifications which organization has a, openings, right? So that's the one thing. And also one can filter out basically based on, say for example, if somebody is looking for a job in Bangalore, so they will get to know which all the companies have a job opening in terms of, say, in terms of digital marketing, right? So how many companies have opening in digital marketing, and how many companies has opening as a software testing in a Bangalore. So it LinkedIn will show cleanly with a set of companies who has an opening in this particular field, so people can go and easily and apply for it. So that's an easy thing, right? You don't need to go and search, and you will get to see the which are the latest jobs being posted by the recruiters. And also, for example, you are very keen that, okay, I want to get a job in it, like top 5 companies, this is my dream companies, for example Infosys or a Amazon or a Microsoft, right? You can also filter out the companies based on your dream companies and then go and apply for it. So these are the features which is available in LinkedIn. I think it's a great feature. I can say if you're looking for a job search, you should always use this particular feature what is available and apply for it. And then obviously if your profile is good, as I said, in a LinkedIn, if your profile is good, then only your recruiters will come to your profile. Otherwise they will leave your profile and go to someone else. So do that profile optimization first, then only you can go and apply for the job.
Yeah, I think that's a very good tip. And when people are actually searching for job again, right? When they are applying for job, a lot of people say that, hey, I've applied many times in LinkedIn, but I have never received any response. So I don't think so. I want to continue on LinkedIn, or LinkedIn is not helping. So is it true, or are they missing something? What can they do better in terms of finding those job opportunities through LinkedIn?
One, what I see, I think even I heard the same thing with when I talk to my clients. The major missing piece what I see is they don't have a industry keywords in their profile. So they say, okay, I build my profile Suma, but when you search the keywords what recruiters are searching, right? So that keyword is missing. And the JD what they put in that particular job description, so they have missing that particular things in their profile. So that's there's a misaligned, right? There's no matching happening in the industry keywords what recruiter is searching, and the job description what recruiters are to have it, that they don't have that particular skills in their profile. So it's not like whenever you're applying for a job you cannot keep your profile same standard, right? Based on your JD, I think you need to tweak a little bit. So based on what changes is happening in the market, what changes is happening on the recruiter's requirement, right? You need to little bit fine tune your profile. So then I think chances that you will get an opportunity. Otherwise, just having a standard LinkedIn account, and then if you don't have the right keywords, and then if you don't have the what recruiters are looking for your skill, obviously you won't get it.
Hmm.
So try to
And
match what JD is there and then skills.
okay, and just like Naukri and other platforms, do they have to have a premium account to do this, or just having that LinkedIn free account can still help them with all of these things?
My suggestion is, I think a free account is more than sufficient. I think I don't recommend. I think if you utilize a free account to the fullest, that's more than sufficient. Uh, People, without knowing ABC of free account, they'll go to premium, and there also they won't get the result. They'll say, I think premium also is not helping me, Suma. So first play with a free account, get the most out of it. Then when you are not getting the result in free, then only move to the premium. That's what my recommendation.
Good, good.
If you ask me,
And
still I'm still with the free version of it. I'm getting more opportunities, and even my clients, most of them, I use the free version it, and I think that's the reason I recommend go with the free only. When you're not getting result, then only move to the premium, I say.
yeah, I think it's more about understanding how to use LinkedIn rather than just switching between free and premium, right? And
Correct.
you guide women professionals in terms of maximizing their reach and visibility and all, right? Are there any steps that they need to follow on LinkedIn so that they can maximize their reach? What can they do actually to do this?
So one, what I say is, connection strategy basically to connect with more people, so networking with the more and more people to create their visibility. So that's the one thing. And then and again say it's not like one more tips what I say is schedule a calendar weekly. So go and connect with the more than 100 people in your industry, and again consistently it has to be the calendar has to be fixed for the whole year, not like okay when I'm free I will open the LinkedIn. No, that game is not going to work. Block your calendar for a complete 1 hour in a week to connect with the people, so that you people will get to know who is Fatar, who is Suma, right? Otherwise, they'll say, okay, I have 100 connections, Suma, I have 500 connections, people, I'm not getting the result, I'm not getting the visibility. With the 500 people, you will have that much visibility. If you want more visibility, you need to connect with the more and more people, right? So increase the number of connections, that's what I say. And then start writing a content, and then add more and more values in your industry or a domain. So that's how you can create a visibility for yourself. And then start helping the people in your domain or industry. That also gives a one more opportunity for you to create a more visibility, I can say.
Hmm. And what about these first degree connections, second degree connections, third degree connections? Like in
Mhm.
LinkedIn, how do people
Mhm.
actually make sure that their content is reaching to multiple people? Is there any ways that they can look at?
I think one is obviously your based on LinkedIn algorithm, some percentage of first degree level, first degree, your post will be shown by LinkedIn automatically. And if there is a value in your content, automatically your first degree connections people will like and comment, then automatically it will reach to the second degree and third degree. So to make that happen, your content has to be attractive and curious. I recommend okay, make sure your first line is attractive and curious. For example, say you are in a any other social media platform like Instagram and thing. You'll be keep scrolling. And then when do you stop? When you find something interesting or attractive, then only you stop scroll, right? So if you want
Right.
same thing happen to you for in LinkedIn, make sure you write your first line attractive and curious so that they will stop and they'll read your content and they'll consume your content. If it's good, obviously they're going to like and comment your first degree people. And then automatically more and more your first degree people connecting it as recommend on a post and liking it, then automatically it reaches second and third degree connections.
Good. I think this is useful information. And now you have been doing this on multiple other platforms. Like you have, I have seen like you have been going to colleges and doing these things, right? Education sessions. So what are the different platforms you have been on in terms of guiding and educating people on LinkedIn?
I think I've been given a sessions to multiple platforms from starting from corporates like Infosys and other communities like Iron Lady, Covey, Jobs for Her and Her Second Innings, and then Queens, multiple platforms, women communities, and IEEE, and then colleges like the Anand Sagar Unity, KLE University, and St. Joseph. These are the multiple platform I've given a session so far, and looking forward to add more and more values to the different communities and then colleges too.
Yeah, and I think this is more in Bangalore, right? Since you are based out of Bangalore, you have been supporting a lot of colleges and out there in Bangalore.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And what kind of people have you been supporting? I think your profile you have been mentioning about women professionals that you are basically supporting, right? So what are the different professionals where you are supporting and how you are supporting them in terms of their growth?
Okay. So basically, I've been supporting the profiles like starting from freshers to even college students to all the level from VP directors and CEO founders. So these are the different set of people I've been supporting so far. And when it comes to the domain, I think multiple domains I've been supporting to them. It could be healthcare or a food industry or a software industry or multiple domain I've been helping the entrepreneurs, different domains I've been helping so far. And then coming to how I'm helping basically on one-to-one support for if anybody entrepreneurs or working professionals if they would like to build their brand, so I'm supporting them one-to-one. And then also helping the people to scan their profile if they would like to get a feedback from me, I will provide that. And also if somebody looking for a personal branding on a LinkedIn, that's what this is a different support which I'm providing to the working professionals or entrepreneurs or students.
Hmm. And one side is like corporate professionals who are actually looking for job, right, or transition in the job. But how does it help
Mhm.
the students here? You also helping those MBA students, right? Is it important for them to also have a LinkedIn profile, and how do they build that LinkedIn profile with no experience in the corporate world?
Mhm. So one is, I think, the current challenges what I see in the working professionals is they have not built their profile in the early stage, right? That is the one thing I could see the major challenges. That's the reason I tell student, okay, don't dig the wall when you need a water. So now only keep the well ready, keep the well ready. So build your, okay, if you've done some internship, it's good enough, go and update in the LinkedIn. Okay, if you learn some certification, if you've done some certification, go and update it. And then obviously as a student they'll be looking for a lot of internship opportunity. So build your profile, get more and more internship opportunities, so it'll help you to get the jobs in the early stage as early as possible once you complete your final year, or in the once you complete your graduation, I can say. And also, nowadays, every day now new technologies are coming. If you don't upgrade yourself, or if you don't know what's happening in the industry, you're outdated in the market. When they ask some question in the interview, if you don't know, you are outdated. So get to know what's happening in the industry, what new technologies are coming in your domain, learn, and so that you can make your job, your interview process easy. And then also start writing a post. Okay, students will be, they won't be having much content to share. I will okay, tell them, okay, share some motivational quotes, or like whatever some events happening in the college, share that, what did you learn in that event. So this is what I'm just motivating the students. So being in this particular platform in the early stage, than compared to other platform, that's what my suggestions to the students.
Yeah, I think that is very important for students where they are building it right from the beginning. And I think, of course,
Mhm.
learning from others who are already there in the industry, like somebody who wants to get into
Correct.
artificial intelligence, following those
Mhm.
people, learning from them, I think that is something that can help them as well. So I think that's a good starter for the students. Right now, you talk about building brand also, right? One is like, of course,
Mhm.
finding jobs on LinkedIn, right? And then you getting
Mhm.
started. But how do you build your brand on LinkedIn?
It's again come to the same point what I mentioned. I think to build a brand, the basic step is, again, your profile has to be good, and it has to be differentiated. So there could be so many project managers, or this could be so many software testing. How are you differentiating yourself compared to other people, right? So while building your profile itself, your profile has to be stand out in your territory, I can say. For example, if you're a product manager, so in your industry and in your things, how are you building your profile, optimized profile, a differentiated profile? That's the one thing. So, and the second thing is about how you need to engage in the content is being published by your industry expert. That's how you can start, branding yourself, saying that, okay, you are an expert in that particular things, right? And next is about consistently posting your content on your domain and the technology. And the next is about uh, uh, use hashtags basically on the which other topic you're talking about, so that if somebody search particular such kind of profiles, right, so chances of your profile will come up. So one is creating a differentiated profile, and then adding a values or comment or thoughts on your industry people post, and then you consistently posting content and using hashtags in all your posts. So it will show that you are a one of the kind of, you can establish your brand. And again, I say it's not a one day activity, it has to be consistency is the key in LinkedIn. There's no other secret, or there's no other hack. If you just play, okay, once in a month you'll peep to the LinkedIn, and then you're going out, I'll write and give it to you, you won't get anything. You cannot build your brand. So you have to be consistent.
Right. So consistency is the key. Like if you have to get
Correct.
success on LinkedIn, especially, you have to be
Mm-hmm.
consistent. Right. So
Correct.
you were talking about building a content calendar so that people are also like posting on a regular basis. Right. Is there any
Mm-hmm.
timing also they will have to follow, like when, or any days specifically they have to follow, or they can do anything like randomly and still get success here on LinkedIn?
See, there's nothing, no timing, or no days. I think you can fix it out. Maybe I think at least the weekend, little bit, I can say low traffic will be there. Other than that, the weekdays, I think all the working professionals or people who are active in LinkedIn are, they'll be accessing the LinkedIn. Maybe like after 9 o'clock or after 10 o'clock, you can post your content. And again, maybe weekly 2 days you can start with it. I think if you don't have a time to write at least 7 days, you can at least weekly 2 days. It could be Monday, Wednesday, or a Tuesday, Thursday. You can start writing the post, and again maybe in between 10 to 1 during the early morning hours. Sorry, in the morning hours, basically you can post the content. And in the LinkedIn, basically nothing is right and nothing is wrong. It's all trial and error. Just try out what is working for your target audience. Okay, so for me, if I post the content maybe in between 10 to 11, I think I'm getting a more and more engagement. I think my posts are performing well. So you need to figure out what time basically your target audience are active in LinkedIn, right? So because your target audience is different, my target audience is different. So just to
Right.
try out, okay, one day you post, 1 month you try post 10 to 11 and see how the posts are performing. If it's not performing, then switch to 11 to 12 and then see how it's performing. If it's performing, stick to that time. That's what I can say.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's more of trial and error. And I think one important thing for the beginners is do not even look at like what time, what day and all. I think it's more of, as you said,
Mhm.
consistency. If you're creating on certain days, first find
Correct.
that self-discipline and
Mhm.
consistency. And I think for corporate professionals, again,
Mhm.
like outside their job hours, also, if they have to do it, it's always better, right? So
Mhm.
that people are not pointing out, but they still get started, right? And we have one question here, Suma, that has come on newsletters, right? Can you share
Mhm.
some insights on newsletters, how it is useful in LinkedIn?
So I think it's been trending in LinkedIn. I can say newsletter. Um, if you're really keen on to build your brand, right? So you can keep on writing, keep sharing the newsletter. You can start writing a content. Again, it's not necessary. We should go all the time. Maybe once in 15 days, you can schedule your newsletter and then post it. But let me tell you, if you're new to LinkedIn, I don't recommend everyone to get into the LinkedIn is releasing a everyday new features. Okay, it's like if you can ask me, there are so many new features are coming up. So I don't recommend you to get into the newsletter now only if you're new to LinkedIn. So be comfortable with a normal post, article, whatever things. Be comfortable and then be master of it. Then get into the newsletter. I think it's just started maybe 1 year back. I think you can start the journey maybe in 3 to 6 months. If you're new, then I don't recommend. If you're old, if you've been using the LinkedIn, then I recommend highly start using the newsletter.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like step by step, go step by step. Like first get comfortable with LinkedIn, start posting some content on LinkedIn, and also keep moving forward. Right. And when you are talking about LinkedIn, again, there are other platforms, right? Like Facebook, Instagram. Right? When should people prefer LinkedIn? Like especially for corporate professionals, how this is beneficial than any other platform?
I think if you see Facebook and Instagram and then LinkedIn, right? So if you see Facebook and Instagram, it's a mixed crowd, right? So it's like working professionals are there, students are there, and family people are there. All mixed crowd in both in Facebook, and when you compare to Instagram, I think more of the younger generations are there, right? So it's kind of a mixed crowd. As a working professionals, so you have a goal. I think you want to achieve something, right? So it means that you need to connect with the more and more working professionals are there, the top profiles in your industry, so that you can make your dream or your career goal easy, right? So but in a LinkedIn, so in a Facebook or Instagram, that's going to be a challenge because your target audience spread. I think you don't focus on the target, but in LinkedIn for working professionals, most of the in the LinkedIn, basically you can see the working professionals and also the entrepreneurs are there, right? So if you're entrepreneurs, focus on connecting with the more entrepreneurs. If you're a working professional, you can get a focusly dedicated target audience. You can get it in LinkedIn, but in Instagram and then Facebook, it's going to be a mixed crowd. So when you know that this is the crowd, right, so you should prefer what is right for you. And also if you see the result compared to the Facebook and Instagram for the working professional, obviously LinkedIn is way better than other platform. And I always call LinkedIn as a gold mine. I think how much of the time you dig deep in this particular platform, like in how to get a gold, basically from the gold mine, we dig deep, deep, then only we get the gold, right? Same thing in LinkedIn. So just having an account is not going to help you out. You dig deep, invest time in the LinkedIn platform, then you're going to get a result in in the LinkedIn. That's what I say. Uh, they say a lot of data is there. If you want to know about why one has to consider LinkedIn, so that's the reason instead of Facebook and Insta, you always think that okay, LinkedIn is the best platform for a working professionals and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. And I love what you said. It's a gold mine, right? You keep digging, and I think you can keep looking at collecting more and more gold because, of course, even the statistics says 870 million users approximately on LinkedIn. Out of that, 25% are decision makers, right? That means clearly it's an
Correct.
opportunity for people to connect, to learn, to grow, to get hired, right? So all of these things. Now, what are the top 2 or 3 mistakes people should avoid on LinkedIn? Anything as such?
One I can say that. Mhm. Um, One is I think immediately. Uh, start connect when they connect to the people, right? They don't send a note. Okay, so without sending a note, they'll try to click on a connect button. So they miss that opportunity. I say always don't do that mistake. Okay, instead always go with a personalized note to the people whomever you want to connect. That's the one thing they can avoid than just clicking a connect button. And the second thing is, um, whenever you do something, whenever you post any content, if you do some they'll directly click on a post. And again, they'll, and if some mistakes are there, they'll just go and delete it. This is what I see most of the women. Okay, they're very hesitant. Okay, I did some mistake, I'll go and edit. Instead of it, there's always edit option is there. Edit option is there. You can always go and edit on the post what I've written, so that you don't need to retype it again or repost it. Use that edit option so that you can overcome all the mistakes whatever you do. And next is, I think, third, don't write your content continuously, kind of a big paragraph. That's what I see most of them. And use lot of hashtags. People use crazily like hashtags. I don't know why, like 20, 30 hashtags in each post. So I don't recommend that. Don't do that mistake. Use maximum 5 hashtags related to your industry, because otherwise the content is going to dilute. Avoid using hashtags more. Stick to 5, which is the core topic or your domain as a technology. So I suggest these three mistakes you avoided. One is don't put too much of hashtags, and then your content has to be a lot of white spaces. Don't write big paragraphs things. And then if you do mistakes, don't go and delete the post. There's always edit option. You go and click on edit. So these are a few things which you can people can avoid, so that you can maximize most out of it.
Yeah, good. I think that's a good reply. And here, I think Shilpa has one interesting question, right? I was trying to connect with
Mhm.
leaders in my domain. I don't see them active in LinkedIn.
Mm.
There are very few people who are active. How to handle this
Mhm.
scenario? Like people are sending connections, right, in their own domains to leaders, but they see
Yeah.
people are not
Mhm.
active. So how do they handle this particular scenario? What to do here?
I think there is no a shortcut or hack for this. We in the LinkedIn, basically, if you want to get most out of it, you need to connect with the people who are active in LinkedIn. If I think we can say that a number of people are there in LinkedIn, as he said, I think around 830 million people, billion people are there in LinkedIn. But I think active people is very less. So if you want to get most out of the people, and again, you need to connect with the people only are active, even though they are in a top level. If they're not active, please don't go and connect. There's no use connecting with such kind of people. So identify some industry expert in your area who are active in LinkedIn, then only connect. So if they're not active, we cannot do anything, and even anybody cannot do anything.
Yeah, I think that's right. And of course, Shilpa, what you also need to look at is there is a way to look at dead connections, right? If we call it as dead, right, on LinkedIn, because if they are not active,
Mhm.
you're wasting that one connection request. So always before sending the connection request, see their activities. If they have been doing any activities in the past, like 1 month, 2 months, some people wouldn't have touched it at all. So that's where you're wasting the connection. But I think if you can look at it, you're not wasting. But again, we cannot encourage people to come on LinkedIn, especially the ones who we are not connected with. But there are so many Shilpa out there, thought leaders and leaders in the industry. You don't have to stop only at what you look at, right? You can keep adding and then increasing more and more connections there. And we have one more interesting question here. Most of the times, message can't be sent unless you connect first. How to handle this? Right? You cannot send a message at times, right? When you have to actually send a connection request before you connect. So how do you handle this?
One is, as I said, I think before connecting, there's a add note option is there. That option is will be there for all the profiles, most of the profiles. Try with that options. If that option is not there, I think obviously LinkedIn free features is limited, right? You cannot get much out of it. So as I said, try playing that inbound game. So go to their profile, like and comment, and then make that particular person to come to your profile. Click on connect. So you make the ulta with by following the inbound strategy.
Right. I think that's a wonderful strategy there, right? So instead of just waiting and then if things are not working again, becoming resourceful, go add value as Suma said, right? Like, comment, share their content so that they can start observing you. And then you can also send later, you can, they will themselves connect, or there are multiple ways. But until and unless you don't stop, things will not stop for you. I think that's a good technique again there, Suma. And now, we are coming to the conclusion of this particular episode. I think we had a wonderful discussion there, right? You have been talking about LinkedIn as a gold mine. What is the top one thing that you want to give as an advice for people to how to utilize this gold mine and dig most of the gold from here?
I say follow the 3C formula. When I say 3 formula, one is consistency, and next consistency is the key, and second is connection, and consistently connect with the people, and next is content, consistently post a content in sense. Follow these three: consistency, connections, and content. I think with that, I think you should be able to get the most from the LinkedIn, I can say.
Yeah, thank you. I think that was a wonderful advice once again from you, right? CCC, right? Be consistent, whatever you're doing, and then keep creating that consistent connection request, and then keep adding content because, of course, if you have to be showcased as thought leader, you need to keep sharing your content and thoughts there. And Suma, this was a wonderful episode. Thank you for being here and adding value to the audience through your knowledge of LinkedIn, which you are already sharing in multiple platforms. It was wonderful interacting with you, and thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us.
Thank you for having me, for Vata. And then I must say, as you all know, my favorite quote is "Action is the mother of all accomplishment." I think if you want to get most out of LinkedIn, you need to take 3C actions consistently. Write your content consistently, take an actions to connect with people. So then only you can get a lot of inbound opportunities. Without that, you won't get anything. So take an action.
Great. Yes, action is the ultimate, right? The one which will get us results. So thank you for sharing that, Suma, and thank you once again for being with us. And thank you for all those users who have been live with us and also people who are going to watch us later on the recording. I'm sure LinkedIn game is going to change for you from here after. So just don't listen and learn, implement as Suma said, take actions, and your life, your career is going to change from here. So thank you once again to you, Suma, and thank you for all the audience who have been like watching us and going to watch us on the recording. All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you and goodbye.